Hello. Welcome back to Scene by Feel with Nick and Lance.
You're not here. I don't know why we keep introducing these things. No one's watching this.
Of course people are watching this one. This is our most popular one, the Gargoyles episode.
Which is weird because, we thought we started doing like all the stuff that we thought would be popular, and then
it's not.
We've got one guy out there. It's like, rock on.
Yeah. After the one guy who's like, keep doing gargoyles. You're welcome.
What's the guy's name?
Oh, I don't have it offhand.
Oh.
You're going to put me on the spot.
Well, thank you for being you.
Yes.
And watching our videos. Go find a friend and be like, hey, check out these two fat nerds. They're pretty cool. Or they're not.
Or no.
They're talking about a thing that we like, that I like.
Yes. I think the issue is that we are not cool.
Yeah, we're not pretty. So I'm gonna have a big old pair of tits put on me. Maybe that'll. Well, I already got a big old pair of tits. Never mind. Yeah, never mind. Maybe I just need to push them up or something.
Frank Bruno rocks. Frank Bruno rocks.
Let me see.
Yeah, it was all one jam.
Frank Bruno rocks.
Yeah, Frank Bruno rocks.
Well, no, Frank Bruno, you rocks. It's pretty good.
All right, so we are now up to, as per Disney Plus, not like the DVDs, even though they're right here, episode 16, 17, or 17, 18, 19, and 20.
Yeah, forget the 16.
Yeah, that was the last time. Double Jeopardy, Upgrade, Protection in the Cage.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll start with Double Jeopardy and then start working our way through, which would be the introduction to Thailog. Mm-hmm. So spoiler warnings for these four and possibly little tidbits in the future when we're kind of discussing the series. And we've both seen him before. I've seen it more recently than he has.
I saw it when I was a kid.
And I saw it last year. And I'm going through it again because why not?
So we've already warned you the spoilers. So just by chance, odds are it's never going to happen, but by chance, if you've never seen Gargoyles, and this is the first video of ours you've ever clicked on, and you're like, Thailog, if you stop the video right now, and you could figure it out without looking it up on the internet or watching the episode and put it down in the comments, I'll give you a nut tap next time I see you. or a taco tap, either or. So
your choice.
Yeah, your choice, dealer's choice. So, all right, so let's do this shit.
So Spoilers. Double Jeopardy. Lance, what would you give Double Jeopardy on a scale from 0 to 10?
I would give Double Jeopardy a 8.
Okay, I was a little conservative with a 7.
Okay. All right. How about you, Nick? What would you give Double Jeopardy?
I'd give it a 7. 7? Yep, because it's okay. I like I don't like necessarily Thailog per se. I like Keith David having the chance to kind of ham it up and be evil, which is the fun bits for it.
So I'm okay with Thailog. I don't remember any other episodes that he's in.
I think I remember like 3 more, but there's more than that, I think.
And if I'm being honest with you, they released the Gargoyle Nikatoy, NECA. And I was like, oh, cool, this looks awesome. The next figure that came out was fucking Thailog, and I was like, they just released this line and they're already handing us repaints. Mm-hmm. And I was like, who the fuck is this guy even anyways? And you were like, yeah, that's the fucking reverse, he's a clone. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. I totally did not remember that. And then watching this episode, I was like, okay, there it is.
Yeah. He's essentially got 3 fathers in Goliath, Xanatos, and Severius. So this is a fun episode which you get to see Tim Curry kind of ham it up a little bit too, which was amusing for like when Xanatos has Severius cornered and he's like, "Oh, we're being watched. Oh no, sir,
please don't hit me, Mr. Xanatos." Yeah, that's Tim Curry is just a delight in anything he's in. Yeah. I'm starting to think he's like Nick Cage, or at least Nick Cage is like Tim Curry because it doesn't matter what Tim Curry's in, people fucking love him. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, Nick Cage is brutally horrible in most of the stuff that he's done, like in the last 15 years, and people are just like genius. So
well, he's got a scale. I think supposed to be there. He's not a bad actor. He just always kind of goes. He just like cranks it up.
Well, it was the whole Ponzi scheme thing. He lost a fuck ton of money, and I think it just got to a point where it was like, with my lifestyle, I can't say no to money. Mm-hmm. And I think they even did like an interview, and someone was like, "Why do you pick some of the movies that you pick?" And he's like, "Because I fucking like it working.
Yeah.
And I like money. And I honestly,
yeah.
I'd probably be the same way."
I mean, if I got offered a movie, they're like, "Hey, would you like to be in a movie?" I'm an awful actor. I'd be in a movie. I don't give a fuck.
Did you ever see the thing, the one little college skit review where it was like it's called General's Anus or something. He's like, no,
I love it. I'll do it.
No, he's like, no, and he's like, oh, thank God, Nick, I'm glad you picked. No, sorry, the dog was eating something off the floor that was mine. I'll do it. If you're watching, Nick, I still love you. I thought the what was it, the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent is probably the movie is a masterpiece.
He's got a lot of fun movies, and he just kind of hams it up. Because I think we did Color Out of Space, which is a good movie. Check that one out. It's just kind of a crazy movie in which he kind of starts off like a person, and then he hams it up to Nick Cage. You start the dial on like actor, and then you crank it up to Nick Cage, which would be where 11 is.
So Nick, we want you to start out at a nice 3. I could do that. All right, just start out at a nice 3, and then every 20 minutes of the movie, we're going to need you to kick it up just one notch.
One little bit.
Until it's finally Nick Cage.
Like our scorecards, Nick Cage goes to 11.
Yeah, these are Nick Cage rating cards.
Yep. All right, so...
Fuck, can he sue us now for saying that?
No.
Not trademarked.
Yeah. So, they kind of flash back to a scene, I guess that would have happened at the beginning of Awakening, where like a robot comes out and slashes Goliath, and he's like, I'll clean up your blood. I know it's going to be healed in a minute, but Owen's like taking a blood sample. And then 1 year later, or whatever it is, bam, we got ourselves a Thalog clone.
Yeah.
Which is vat grown, and then with how many weird characters is this a thing? Because in the 90s, we were worried about cloning. And...
Dolly.
Yeah, and so that was like a big thing. Like, oh no, you're gonna get. Everyone was worried about the future of getting cloned. So a lot of '90s storylines are gonna have clones. And this one's got like he was cloned in a vat, and he was being fed evil words the entire time, and it twisted his development. So.
And he's more brilliant than David Xanatos, more crafty than Severius, and he's more brutal.
Yeah. It's the strength of Goliath with the kind of devil-may-care cunningness of Xanatos.
Yeah, my favorite part of the entire episode was at the very end of it, where it's like, hey, he's loose and he's out there somewhere, and you had like the ghostly image of him, and he's like,
That's it.
Like doing that fucking crazy laugh. I was like, all right, that's my boy.
It's just I really feel like we we want to do an evil Goliath, like whatever. It's like we'll get to hear Keith David be evil, like print it. Let's fucking do it,
please.
Keith David doing a maniacal laugh. It's fucking awesome.
Well, how expensive is this new character going to be as far as like making the toys? We're going to change his skin color and his hair color, and that's it. People are going to fucking love it. Oh, and he's going to have a gun.
Yeah, and what actors do we have to hire? No one else.
Yep, nope. And Keith's like, okay, so give me direction with this character. You're crazy.
Yeah, evil Goliath.
Okay, I think I could do that. All right,
just play Goliath as Xanatos.
Yeah, just go nuts. Yeah, he had fun recording those lines.
It sounds fun. Who doesn't? I know we like harken back to us playing D&D or whatever, but it's fun being like the DM sometimes, where you can just play the evil bastard who's there to screw the characters over and just kind of ham it up and just kind of be like, screw you guys.
Oh, yeah.
And then for the satisfying thing of making your players hate a character so that they get to kill him. Or they almost get to kill him, but he gets away or whatever.
The tropes in our recent D&D games is if it wheezes in Shane's game, kill it. Don't interrogate it in your game because it's not going to talk.
You threaten it with death first. And then when that doesn't work, you start trying to persuade it nicely. Don't start with the "I'm going to kill you."
You said that. You said that after one game, and the next one was like, "Hey, buddy, hey, we just want to talk to you." And you're like, "Fuck you want to talk?" I was like, "I guess that's not working." Crack his kneecaps.
It's like, okay, I'm going to try the persuasion route. So like, "Hey, buddy, how's it going?" I'm like, "Okay, give me a diplomacy roll." 5. Okay, he's not buying it. I'm going to go with an intimidation then.
Maybe a night in the fucking freezer will change your mind. All right.
So it was frequently whenever you would roll intimidation rolls, you would either I'm going to try to intimidate the death cult member who wants to die with death, so he didn't budge, or you just roll so awfully on your intimidation rolls or whatever. And you're just like, come on, man,
please.
I know the dice said 8, but can he be intimidated, please? Man, he's not intimidated.
See, that's the worst thing about D&D though, is like you can actually like be like, look, I know we've had our differences in our past, but you and I were alike. You see, we came from the same place. We know the same people. So believe me when I say that your pain is my pain. And if you give me this information, I'll make sure that this person is brought to justice. That was a great speech, Lance. Roll. I rolled a 2. Hey, give me the information. I'm going to crack your walnuts. It doesn't matter what the player says. The dice, it rules everything.
I mean, sometimes you need the chance. So what I tend to hearken it to is if all you needed were great words, well-reasoned arguments, and citations, there wouldn't be flat earthers.
I can't argue with that.
It's so no matter how well I put out everything laid out. It's my argument was perfect. I didn't make a fucking hitch. Like I laid out all the evidence.
Sometimes you can make all the right moves and still lose. But also
you're talking to an idiot essentially.
Okay, that's what I was about to say. It doesn't matter.
You're not just gonna like roll the dice and change someone's entire worldview. Now what you do is you roll the dice and maybe you say there are things that they were already thinking and kind of edge them in your direction, and then over the course of time, people change their minds. But you're not like one dice roll is not going to change someone's mind.
Like Martha.
Why'd you say that word?
I'm going to kill this motherfucker. Don't let them hurt Martha. Why'd you say that? Now are we friends yet? Yep. So, anyways.
Yeah.
No, the episode was good. It was kind of weird. It was very obvious what was going on. That's the one thing I guess when I was younger.
It's what's in the 90s when they started doing clone stuff. You're like, ooh, it's new.
Yeah, but it's like they did because like when he flies over the first time, he does like the laugh, and it's like you can tell it's not Goliath.
Or it sounds like Keith David, but then he's like, and then he laughed maniacally. It's like Goliath laughed maniacally.
That's not a thing that happens.
It's like I've known Goliath for like decades at this point. He doesn't laugh maniacally.
Yeah, it was so blatantly obvious what was going on. But I remember watching these episodes back in the day when I was younger, and I was just like, oh, that was a genius turn. And now it was kind of like, all right, how stupid was I back then?
Again, I watched this show when I was like 12 and 13.
Yeah. When
I probably didn't know cloning plot lines at this point in time. So at this point in time, like cloning stuff, I'm kind of over it. I'm kind of over like... I mean, doppelgangers can be okay sometimes. It depends on how they make the doppelganger.
Just long
it's
as
like, I made an evil robot version of them. It's like, okay, whatever. And like I think it was in one of the Superman movies in which they cloned, Lex Luthor cloned Superman and made like a bizarro Superman. And I'm like, more weird cloning where you get like an evil Superman twisted into Lex's way of thinking. Like, okay, whatever.
Nuclear Man or whatever the fuck his name was.
Yeah.
The blonde one that was a psychopath.
Wasn't he made from Superman's DNA? I mean, it was also like the fourth movie, which was infamously awful.
Yeah, it was. He was like, he got his power from like nuclear, and it was, I guess, when the nuclear scare was going on back then. So
how a lot of these movies kind of take our fears and kind of amplify them to be villainous.
I've got a new idea for a movie line for us to do.
What's that?
Like, we pick a movie that's like something to do with like climate or like something. And then we find the genre, then find out what was going on the year before that to make them make...
Why did they write this movie?
Yeah.
It's like, why did they write The Day After Tomorrow?
Yeah, like what was going on around that time when they pinned the script for that? So we could try and see like what somebody was smoking at that point. And they're like, dude, what about like earthquakes, massive earthquakes in LA? And like we could show the fucking Cadillac surfing on fucking like, rippled plates and shit.
We'll go back and see what happened the year before Ex Machina was written.
Ooh. Yeah, that was when they were first talking about like cracking AI or something like that.
And now we're post Chat GPT or is it GTP or GPT?
GPT.
GPT.
It's so I'm not as impressed with that because they're saying it's AI, but all it is it's stolen information from every corner of the internet.
That's what all information is. I mean, all information is stolen. To a point.
Yeah,
if you're not out there researching and doing yourself, it's all stolen information. It steals at an exponential rate. Whereas us stealing information, i.e. taking it in and kind of developing it into our own words, is going to take a lot longer.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed. I downloaded ChatGPT on my phone and I was like, roll me up a 10th level character, random. And it was like, okay. And it rolled it up and I looked at it and was like, that's pretty good. And then I was like, wait, it didn't improve like my stats every 4 levels. It didn't do my feats. Like I wanted like a complete character.
No, it's not going to give you that. It is a good jumping off point. It is a soundboard for you to kind of, I'm writing a quest. Give me some ideas, and it's going to give stuff, and it's going to like, it gave me this block of information and this block of information, and these two sentences clash. Well, that's easy. You just kind of redact one of them. You still need to go through and update it. But it is a tool, like anything is a tool. It is not the only tool. It is just one of which you could use, potentially. But then, what does that lead to in the future?
Yeah.
And what are movies going to be like? Is there going to be more AI scare movies? Because I think this is a cloning scare episode. We've got nuclear scare TV shows and movies.
So this was
climate scare movies.
This was during the cloning scare.
Yeah.
This was turning the CRISPR scare.
Well, the next one, the upgrade one, is still also kind of genetics scare for the most part.
Yeah, CRISPR. They made these little fucking things. It's like these kits or whatever, where it was like you can kind of the CRISPR kits were supposed to be like you could get. I'm not a scientist. I'm not Neil deGrasse Tyson, but I know it was supposed to be like messing with genetics, where if you could get a palette of like what was going on, you could kind of see like somebody's code. And with CRISPR, apparently it was like you could make the person have like faster dexterity, or
you could go and start rewriting their DNA.
Yeah, you can like change their DNA to like make them to bring out certain traits,
to upgrade them.
Yeah, but like that was a whole thing that happened, and I think it was a legitimate thing. And then the person who invented it was just like, everyone can have it. It's like, great, now every fucking person who can afford one of those kits can just go out and start fucking making mutants. Awesome. And I think that's where fucking flat earthers came from. So, just saying.
No, that should just happen naturally.
Yeah, God.
But I mean, so most shows tend to have they talk going on in society, and that kind of, I don't know, springboards the idea for a villain or a scenario or whatever for you to write something down.
Yeah, he's fine. It's just...
I mean, he's fine. It is a chance for Keith David to go ham.
Yeah.
And that's fun.
And I think the reason
I like the evil Keith David. That's amusing.
I think the reason I rated it so high was just for that one little joke where like Xanatos like, I'm gonna go handle Severius, and you could tell he's going to fucking ice him.
Oh yeah.
When he shows up, he's like, you've gotten out of control, and I'm gonna ice your ass. And he's like, oh, are people watching? Okay, and please, Mr. Xanatos, no. Like that whole line had me laughing, because even David rolling back on his heels like,
what's going? It's an episode in which Xanatos got surprised, which is fun. A lot of these times he is kind of like, I've been behind it the whole time, and I planned all this. This is one where he's like, whew, I don't know, man. And at the end, it's kind of like, oh, at least Thalog died. And he's like, if that was me, I wouldn't have planned it that way. I would have planned it so you think I'm dead, but really I'm outspending that money. Yeah,
it's the thing is more brilliant than all of them put together. So Severius really outdid himself on this one.
Yeah. So it's a fun episode. It's not a favorite of mine, but it's fine. It's good.
Yeah, I didn't like buying the toy twice.
Well, did you find the second one on like deep discount? Because I don't think a lot of people were super like, when you're like, I'm going to sell you a gargoyle toy, and you're not going to be like, I hope it's Thalog. It's like you're gonna pick a toy.
The thing that's funny about it is like none of these toys have gone on reduction. Like, so I bought Goliath, and then I bought Demona, and then I was surprised by your birthday this year, so I just gave you Demona, and I didn't replace her. Now they've released Hudson, Bronx, like they're all out there. Broadway, all of the toys are out there except for like Demona, and I think like the Steel Clan is next.
Okay, I think the only other one I'd want would be Elisa.
So they haven't released Elisa yet. They haven't released Xanatos yet. I think Steel Clan's coming next. Okay. And then they're going to release, I think it's Xanatos with the red armor. I think he's going to be a 2-pack. But none of these have gone on sale. None of them. Like, I think I saw one time the Goliath figure went on sale at Target. But, like, they've stayed at $36. And I want them, but I've made a promise to Amber that I'm not going to buy them unless I can get a good deal on them.
I mean, that's like 2 meals, potentially, for a piece of plastic.
But, I mean, I want them because, you know, it's a part of my childhood. Well, I say childhood. I was 21 when these episodes came out. So
it's a piece of your past, but also now a piece of your present.
Yeah. So... And thank you for suggesting it, because this it's fun. You and I, when we first met, I remember we didn't have a lot to connect with other than the fact that we had Amber.
And we played D&D or whatever.
Yeah.
And even then, we didn't play D&D together for a while.
Yeah. You came over to the house every now and then.
Because Tim lived there, and I knew Tim, but I also knew Amber. But mainly I was going there to hang out with Tim or whatever. And all of the computers were in one room. So it's kind of like everyone's on the computer, and I'm there hanging out.
Yeah.
And like when Tim's eventually like, let's go hang out in my room. So I would go hang out in his room and watch a movie or play a game or whatever.
But it's in like, I remember you and I started making connections when it was kind of like, think you made a comment about Gargoyles at one point. I was like, I fucking love that cartoon. And then now you're my best buddy. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's fun going back over these again, but it's annoying going back over these again in some ways because like episodes that I thought I liked a lot, I'm just kind of like, it's okay, you know.
But now you've been watching them with your kid too.
Yeah, and so that's been the best part is that I've shown him Avatar, Last Airbender, not into it.
No.
Transformers, not into it. G.I. Joe, not into it. Gargoyles, he got wings, Daddy.
Yeah,
He does have wings.
I wonder if it's because they look kind of like monsters, but they're friendly.
And he likes scary looking shit. It's weird.
I've always liked scary looking shit.
Yeah, I'm proud. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. One of my favorite things that's ever happened in this house is on Halloween I go and sit out front and hand candy out to the kids, and I always put like a scary mask on. And like I make them come up and take the candy out of the bowl, and I don't say anything. I just stare at them like the fucking psychopath. And like it started happening where kids that were like under like 3 or 4, I would pull the mask up so they don't freak out. I had a couple of kids cry, and it makes me feel bad when they cry. This one guy comes walking up the porch, and I see that his daughter is running behind him, and she's dressed like a witch, and she's tiny. She's like maybe 3.5, 4 years old. And like as soon as he came walking up the driveway, I said, dude, I can pull the mask up if you want me to. And he said, no, man, she likes scary shit. And as soon as he said that, she looked up at me, saw the mask, and she started squealing and like ran up to me, and she's like, I like your pumpkin mask. I said, I love your little demon horns, because she was like a demon witch or something. But like that made my fucking night, because that was like that one year where I was like, I'm not going to hand out candy anymore. Kids are fucking spoiled. You're like, take one out the bowl. They grab fucking handfuls. I was like, fuck kids these days. And that little girl was like, she put me back out in the fucking street the following Halloween. Thank you, little girl. We're cool. Anyways, but yeah, do you have anything else we can talk about?
I think we can move on to the next one.
All right.
No, let me see. Next one is Upgrade.
Upgrade.
So I'm going to do this.
Yeah, this is the episode about the pimp who's chasing after the girl in...
Yeah,
No? We're not talking about the same Upgrade?
No.
Oh.
We were not talking about the same Double Jeopardy either. That was with Ashley Judd and Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Jones.
Lance.
No, that's in my head now, Nick. Thank you. Oh, shit. I got to pick a number.
Yeah, Lance. What would you give Upgrade on a score from 0 to 10?
I would give it a 5.
No, I went lower, but not that low. So I know you're not a fan of the pack, but I think this is where the pack gets interesting.
You know, well, I mean, are they though? Because like the only one I agreed with was Dingo. Look what you did to you, the lot of you.
Well, that was a question I was going to ask, but we'll get to it.
Oh, okay.
So,
Nick, yes. What did you think of Upgrade?
I'll give it a 7 as well, because it was. I think this is when the pack gets a little bit more interesting, because now they've always been the 4 of them. And now they're going to be different, and then they're going to kind of like split up and do their own thing. Where you've got like Wolf doing a thing, or like Dingo and Hyena doing a thing, or not Dingo, or Hyena and Jackal doing a thing, and like Dingo doing a thing.
Right.
So it kind of gives them enough differences where you can kind of pull them apart and explore them as people other than just being. And
Fox came out on top.
No, yeah, it's just kind of This was a David and Xanatos kind of fucking with each other and just kind of seeing what happens. You're like, I'm going to make the pack better and see what happens. You're like, no, I trust the Gargoyles, and I'll give them just enough information.
This episode was probably one of my least favorites, just for the fact of, the only thing I liked about the episode is that Fox and Xanatos are playing a chess game. And it's like, okay, I'm going to move this piece here, I got you now. And then the episode would go back where it was like, okay, the pack has the upper hand.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, the other person's like, no, I'm going to move this piece. And then you see Fox wins the chess game.
Yeah.
Because apparently she was playing the Gargoyles.
Yeah.
I thought that was neat.
Yeah,
the rest of the episode, I did not care for.
No, see, I kind of enjoy it because it's essentially that point in time when Goliath gets injured at the front, and it's kind of like, well, you've got 3 kids here. Like, one of them is going to have to be your next in charge. And it's kind of like, okay, well, now they've kind of got that rivalry between them because each of them wants to be the next leader, essentially. Yeah,
and they're talking about how many bad guys they've bagged.
Yeah. So they're kind of full of themselves or whatever, to the point where the 2 people that they look towards, like Hudson and Goliath, get taken out. And now they've got to like figure out how to work together. And in the end, when they stop bickering and trying to one-up each other, and it's just kind of like, dude, quit it. Like, you do this, you do this. I know what you're good at. I know what you're good at. I know what I'm good at. And you can just delegate people, and then you get shit done.
But was there any? So it's like he didn't even have any confidence in 3 kids because he immediately tried to throw it back to Hudson. And Hudson's like, I had my turn.
Yeah.
I picked you. You got to pick one of these guys.
I think it's that very non-committal answer. It's kind of like
he doesn't want to pick.
He doesn't want to pick because he was, like he said, he's worried. Yeah. Like, imagine you've got 3 children, and you've got to be like, you're the child in charge. It could potentially sow discord between the other 2 kids. Like, why'd you pick that kid? Like, I'm the oldest, I should have got it, or I'm the whatever, I should have got it.
I know this all too well because at the place I work at, there are temporary spots and then there are full-time spots. If a full-time spot ever comes open, every single one of the temporary people jockey for that position. If there are 3 people vying for the position and one of them gets it, the other 2 fucking quit immediately. Yeah. And then it's a hassle getting people back in.
Getting 3 new ones and
training them back up. Yeah, and then management's like, it's fine. Yeah. And I'm just like, I have to fucking train them. It's not fine. This isn't fine. And it's been that way for fucking ever.
But now imagine that with family.
Yeah.
Where you've got three family members come in, and you got to pick one family member to be the top one, and you like all of them. It's not like one where you're like, I like this family member and I don't like these 2. It's kind of, you've got your 3 kids.
But was there ever a doubt? You had the tiny smart one, you had the giant slow one, and then you had the guy who was like the Mario of the group.
But he's also kind of the angry one. The brash one, I would say. Sometimes.
Well, he's just I think he's more of
I would say he's the arrogant kind of brash one. But
he's arrogant and he's like easily fooled. And he wants to trust. Yeah. And he gets tricked a lot. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know if he's going to make the greatest leader in the world because he keeps fucking falling for certain things. But like when it comes to Nimona, yep. Look out. But yeah, this episode was fine. Was this also the episode where they crushed the head?
Oh, wasn't that fucking brutal?
Yeah. Was this the same episode? That was the thing I also liked about it. It was just straight up like crushed it.
He gets Xanatos or the coyote's head, and it's just kind of like blur, and you see like it crushed. The eye pops out of the socket. Yeah. I'm like, this is pretty brutal for a kid show. You can screw up robots. Yeah, that was. And it's fine because he's got half a human face, so he's obviously a robot. Let's just break the shit out of it.
And I said that to Amber too. We were watching the episode. Jack was out here watching it, and they like crushed the head. The eyeball popped out and shit. I was like, I kind of looked at her and I was like, you think that was a bit graphic? She's like, yeah, it's machinery. No one gives a shit. Yeah. So, but yeah, somebody wanted to draw somebody popping someone's fucking head, and they were just like, "Hey Ted, we need you to draw Santos getting his head popped." And he's like, "Oh, I've been waiting for this."
Yeah, it was drawn well, and it was neat.
It was. Sorry.
No, I was gonna propose. So there's 4 different types.
I do.
No, there's 4 different types. There is you become a mutate sort of thing, like maybe you get some animal juice in you that makes you different. Mm-hmm. There's the cybernetic route. Mm-hmm. Get some bits in you to make you a bit like a machine. There's the power armor route, or there is a robot duplicate route. Mm-hmm. So a crazy rich person comes to you and say, "I've got some options for you," and he lays these 4 out. These are the things that he could do for you. Mm-hmm. Which one would you want?
What I want?
Yeah.
If I picked animal, do I have to look like the fucking animal?
You're gonna have traits based on the animal, because remember the mutates or whatever, the ones that are upcoming that we'll talk about. They've got cat in them, they've got bat in them, and they've got eel in them. So they can fly like a bat. They look like a cat, and then they can produce electricity like an eel. So you can take bits and bobs of animals, but you're gonna look animalistic in some way.
I mean, if it was more like what happened to fucking Home Slice right there.
Yeah, where he just looks like a wolf.
Yeah, where he just looks like a standing up wolf person.
Because I think he just took like wolf.
I mean, if I want to say that I would take like the animal DNA kind of thing route, because who doesn't want to run faster, jump higher, smell fucking somebody's hot dog from a mile and a half down the road.
So you'd go like the Wolverine route, like jam some Wolverine in me.
That's what I would do. But like honestly, I'd have the power armor belt because I'm okay with who I am and I like who I am. I want to be fitter. Like it would be amazing if somebody could just hit me with a fucking needle and all of a sudden my body like tightened up from having some kind of metabolism of some kind of crazy fucking animal. But I'd go probably power armor, just because so I can just go sit in my chair and just fucking chill, and then I can just jump back in the fucking power armor and charge down the street.
So I mean, if you're in power armor and it's doing most of the running for you, it's got to be making you more fit because it's moving your body. It's probably not as much as if you were doing it yourself, but. I mean, that's got to be a step towards fitness, right? To the point where you eventually build up your body, and now the power armor is enhancing what you have, not just doing it for you.
I mean, that's interesting because, I mean, it's movement. If anything, I would say it's cardio.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine it's similar to, you know how, like, when people have injured themselves and they need to go through therapy, and they put them in a water tank?
Yeah.
So that it's supporting most of your weight, but you're still doing the motions to kind of build your muscles back up. So I imagine if you're in power armor and you're doing the motions or whatever, it's doing stuff for you. It is just not as effective as if you were doing it yourself. But then you kind of like, you start to get a little bit fitter with the power armor, and eventually like the swap happens where you're doing even bigger stuff that is just more enhanced by the power armor. So you're still getting like a workout and now you're just doing crazy shit like lifting up cars, but it would be like lifting up, like benching 100 normally or something like that, but for you it's lifting a car.
Are we talking like kaiju-sized robots, or are we talking like just like straight-up human-sized power armor?
So it'd be power armor like the show, where it's kind of like Xanatos, where it's over you.
Yeah.
Or like the robot duplicate would be, it looks like you, but it's a robot.
I mean, I would imagine if anything, it would be like, so Ripley in the fucking power loader stuff. You could still, where she still had to like pick up her feet to make it walk and shit like that, and like
it would be power assisted, not like.
Sure, but like it wouldn't be like major gains because you're still like working inside of the power armor, but it's literally doing all the work. All you're doing is just kind of like pushing the stuff around. So it'd be like weight training with like 10-pound weights.
Yeah, maybe.
I would imagine. So it's like tiny gains. So it's like me right now getting a power armor. I'd just be like, oh man, I'm gonna look so fucking sweet in about a year, and then like a year later, I've maybe dropped like 30 pounds because I sweat in the fucking power armor. And shit
that's gotta help too.
But there's like no muscle or anything like that. You know, if anything, my thumbs are a little bit better from toggling fucking switches and shit.
I imagine it's probably like a form-fitted thing where you put like on the gauntlets or whatever, and it's probably got some weird heads-up display, kind of like that, because he just kind of points his arm and like the little thing comes up.
Oh, Bubblegum Crisis to be believed. You're sitting in like basically the torso of it, and your little fucking arms are coming out the side and shit. In the Boomers, not the Boomers. I'm not Bubblegum Crisis. God, what was the other fucking anime? Appleseed.
There's some where you've got your tiny arms and then the power suit, but those are more like mech suits. I'm talking about like you are wearing an encased armor around you. So I mean, it would be like Bubblegum Crisis potentially, where you kind of, if you want to have like one of those little suits, it is a suit that goes on you, and it enhances what's already there, but gives you like some 8 extra tools. Maybe you don't need a gun on your thing, but maybe you got a grappling hook. Yeah. Or maybe you just can kind of be like, can you fix this for me, honey? Sure. Like, and then the drill comes out and you can start like drilling things for it.
As long as I didn't have to. I mean, all of them are good options. Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask you, what would you pick?
Cybernetics.
Really?
Yeah.
But I mean, so what if someone told you it was going to go to the degree that they went in this show? Because like, I'm convinced the only thing that was fucking still going on with them was like their heads. Oh, yeah. Their heads were the only real thing. Oh,
yeah. This, like, the brain is all I need. You can fucking slough off all this shit.
You just straight up let them fucking cut everything else off?
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
I mean, the only way I would go the cybernetic route, like right now my leg is fucked up, and someone's like, I'll just cut that fucking thing off. And I'll put another leg that operates perfectly and smoothly and shit like that. There's like, as long as you take pain out of the equation, I'm pretty much game for anything. Like, I'd like to believe that if somebody bent me over that fucking couch right now and started jamming needles in my ass cheeks to get me to fucking admit something, I'd be like, do anything you want to me, I'll never talk. And the first 3 pricks, I'd be like, okay, it was fucking Colonel Mustard in the library with the fucking, I would give it up immediately. And like, this whole fucking leg thing, I went through one day of it, and I was like, this is annoying. Second day of it, I was like, this sucks. The third day of it, it's like, God, is this life? Is this just what life is now? So, it's interesting that you would pick that, though.
Well, I mean, I would think it would be noticeable by some of my favorite characters. Like, Alita's just a brain.
Isn't she like...
No, she's a brain.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Go watch our Ganmu / Battle Angel Alita.
I thought her face is real, too.
No. Just a brain.
And it's a Mars brain.
It's a human brain, but she's from Mars.
They don't cover that in the anime, though, right?
I mean, they're all human. I guess the style on Mars is that you've got like the big anime eyes or whatever in the movie. But...
If you're just a brain, is it still android?
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as if it is an android, or not an android, it's a cyborg. Android is robotic. So if there is no human in it, but it's humanoid shaped, it's an android. If there is any bit of meat in it, it's a cyborg. Even the reverse. Hence why you can call the Terminator a cyborg, is because it is a robot with living tissue grafted onto him.
A living endoskeleton.
Yeah. So he's a Terminator cybernetic organism.
If I gave you
yeah.
If I gave you the fucking crazy robot body and I was like, can you feel that? Can you feel that? Can you feel that? And you couldn't feel that, you'd still be like, yeah, I'd do that.
Yeah, that's weird. You have to have some measure of you can sense your environment.
Tactile and everything.
Otherwise, you'd be fucking clumsy as shit.
Yeah.
Not be able to walk.
So, I mean...
But whether, like, pleasure or pain or whatever, as long as I can, like, feel shit and get along, I mean, I'm fine.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
If someone approached you right now and said, I could download your brain, put it in a fucking... like, a virtual fucking server to live on until, like, robot bodies were ready, would you do it?
I mean, I probably would, but then I'd keep living my life and die, and the copy of me would get to live on. So, but I mean, the thought of having a copy of me would be okay. Because, I mean, I think a lot of people expect, like, oh, you plug your brain in it, and if it could, like, literally transfer me into it, that would be preferable. But it's not going to. It's going to be, like, an Invincible or whatever. You remember, like, I guess, spoiler for a small part of Invincible.
Wait, no. I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the twins.
Yes.
Okay. See, I thought that was fucking great.
Yes.
But I mean, that whole version of that was... It was a copy from a particular time.
But it's, yeah, you would take me and upload me to the internet. I would still exist, and me as I was would be copied. That's essentially like with computers. That's how data works with computers.
Right.
You don't actually physically take what's on your computer and transfer to it to a different device. You copy it onto a different device.
Yeah.
So if that's how it worked, I mean, I know it wouldn't be an out for me. It might be cool to have a copy of me. And a me out there that thinks like, well, at one point in time I was a meat man, but now I'm like all cyborg. I mean, that's neat, but I wouldn't get to experience it, so it's less important for me. Hence why if I'm on a machine body, I want my meat brain, because that's not going to transfer.
And see, something fuck's up is going to happen where you're like, okay, I got 21-year-old me and I stuck it in this fucking farm, and like you're running around like with sheep and having a good time in the fucking server, and then another one of you that's like 36 shows up and they're like, oh fuck, we didn't get rid of the old one, we like you know, like, so suddenly you have to, your 21-year-old you has to meet your 36-year-old you that's like a little bit more battle worn.
Yeah. So there is one game we played, I don't remember the name of it, Nova Praxis, I think. It was like a fate-based system or whatever.
Where we're flying around.
Yeah, that version of cybernetics, they actually had something called apotheosis, where they inject you like with like nanotech, and the nanotech goes to your brain and slowly replaces it with machinery. A bit kind of like the ship Theseus, I think it's called.
Yeah, the ship of Theseus.
Yeah, where it's replacing your brain with robotics, but those connections still exist. So you end up being fully machine, with your brain kind of like now on a thing that can be downloaded. Now it can literally be transferred. And like essentially your brain exists on like in Altered Carbon, it exists on a stack.
So
where as long as your stack doesn't get destroyed, you don't get destroyed.
Yeah, or sleeve.
They were sleeves in Overpraxis, and Altered Carbon they call them stacks.
Okay.
But essentially, it's your brain exists there now, and it was transferred in such a way that it is not a copy of you. It is literally a transference of you to that thing. So you can be slotted out of a body and slotted into a new one.
So that's dope.
I would 100% be down for that. Like, imagine there's like, I like customizing characters, and like being able to like download, like you play a game and you get to make your own character. That's fucking dope.
They already did that on another show, Dollhouse.
Yeah. But that Dollhouse was whatever. But just the idea of, well, they were also rewriting who they were too. But you could just kind of like take yourself out and like literally put yourself in a customizable character. How dope would that be to like change bodies like you could change clothes?
I mean, that would be sweet, don't get me wrong, but...
Well, that's up there for me. Another reason why like Mystique is my favorite X-Men.
You can just change.
Yeah, just be whoever you want. Imagine how awesome D&D games would be if I had Mystique's powers.
Oh my god, you just doing all the characters. Yeah, but then it would literally be you looking like different people with the same Nick voice.
No, I changed the voice.
You very rarely do voice at the table.
I very rarely do voice at the table, yes. Especially for characters. If I'm playing the character, I don't often change my voice. If I'm a DM, I'll swap my voice out. I'll do my old man voice or like my crazy guy voice or my dumb ogre voice. I do it for when I'm the DM, not when I'm a player.
Or the pickle orc. We loved the pickle orc.
Yeah, he was fun.
All right. Is there anything else? Well, we haven't really talked about this video, so
Well, yeah.
this episode was just okay.
Yeah, I think we talked about upgrade.
Yeah, it was just okay.
And we kind of posed a question. 4 options. I guess the robot duplicate would be like you have a robotic duplicate of yourself to do things for you. It's like you could be like, go to work for me and then stay home all the time, or you could be like, my kid needs to go to the baseball game, but my leg hurts. You're me today.
Yeah, but you.
It's just another option. So, like, do you want a power suit? Do you want to be changed to an animal? Do you want cybernetics? Or do you want to have a robotic duplicate to kind of like just do your dirty work?
I know me. I'd pick fucking animal.
Yeah.
I'd pick animal, but like I also.
What kind of animal would you want? You like dog? Is that kind of where you're at, and kind of get like the enhanced scent and?
I mean, I'd probably go with cat, because cats are still pretty good when it comes to smell.
Oh yeah,
they've got great
agile and whatnot.
They've got great ears, and I value dexterity and quickness.
Yeah, and like night vision.
Yeah, I'd probably go with cat.
Okay. Anything else you would slam in there just for a little bit of fun? Want to be a cat plus a scorpion, so you got a scorpion tail that you can poison people.
I'd want to be a cat and flying squirrel.
Oh yeah, so you can just like be a cat and then just like hop out the roof.
Just glide down on motherfuckers. That'd be the shit, man. Oh my god, that'd be amazing. But yeah, no. Hey, you asked the question. I'm going to tell you straight up.
Okay. That's so curious.
I think that's what I would pick.
All right. So in the comments below, if you were given this for options, let us know. I'm curious if, like me just being a meat brain in a robot body, I don't think most people would want to do that, but I think it's dope. I would be down for it.
That sounds scary. I mean, especially if you suffer from claustrophobia, and the second you realize that like you're just stuck in a fucking hard drive.
You're already a brain piloting a bone mech covered in meat armor.
Man, go fuck yourself.
It's already a thing that exists. You are already encased in a skull.
Oof.
And it's kind of like, to what extent do you consider you? I mean, the tip of my pinky is me, but also at a certain point in time, what is it, like every 10 years, 12 years, there's no longer a cell there's no longer an atom in you that was in you like 12 years ago. It's like the ship Theseus problem, where everything about you has shifted, but it's all shifted slowly, one thing at a time. Are you still you? Of course you are.
Yeah.
What if all those atoms were taken and rearranged in the same formation of what you were like 10 years ago? Is that you now? It was all those atoms that were you.
So James and I had an argument about this where... Okay, well, I'll just ask you. Would you get on a fucking teleporter on Star Trek?
On Star Trek? Probably not, because those things go wrong all the time.
Sure, but like... The way that they're explained, I think the science behind it is basically it breaks you down.
Yeah.
And then transforms
your atoms.
Yeah, it breaks you down atomically and teleports your atoms from point A to point B. And James's argument is that you're dead at that point.
Yeah. So the way transportations would actually work. So, like Star Trek, that's magic. Mm-hmm. The way it would actually work, they'd have to break you down and reassemble atoms there, and it would have a copy of you. You step into the teleporter and get killed and obliterated, and some copy of you that thinks you're you appears where it was. That's the only way you could actually do it.
Well,
but
now.
Yes.
With what we know right now,
without magics.
Well, so anything. Like, the first caveman that walked up with fucking fire on a stick, that was magic. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, as we learn more, as we go further out into the fucking universe, if we find, like, the next crazy fucking element that literally allows us to just move our atoms at the fucking speed of light from point A to point B, it's not killing you, it's just fucking... We don't understand it. Mm. It's just another thing that we don't understand until we can wrap our fucking monkey brains around it. But right now, from what we understand, we explain it scientifically and we say it's death. I think if I existed in Star Trek, that's just a thing that happens. But if it was hey, Elon Musk invented teleportation, do you want to be the first to do it in his teleportation machine? Fuck that. Good luck, buddy. Yeah, no, I'm not going to become his Brundlefly. Yeah. But a lot of cybernetics would be cool. Cybernetics in the world we live in now, knowing how often machinery just fails, how often I have to replace batteries in fucking phones. I don't want our technology in my body. That's true. I want magical sci-fi tech that's always kind of like, I lost an arm, I can just pick it up and put it back on and it's reattached. Whereas in like the real world, I went to
transform my transformer and the plastic snapped off or something like that. Now it's busted forever. Like,
Yeah.
real tech fucking sucks. But
Oh.
like this weird imaginary fantasy tech that is dope.
But I mean, what if they had like a lithium-ion battery that like slotted into your butt cheeks? That like whenever you lay down in your bed at night, that was like your wireless charger.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you just lay in bed and sleep, and it's just basically charging you up.
If I never had to eat again, I would pick that option. If like it's like you never have to eat, but you're always energized. I'd be like, that's fine. I'm not a huge fan of eating.
I wouldn't pick that.
I eat because I have to.
Ice cream.
If I didn't have to have ice, I don't fucking eat ice cream.
I fucking love ice cream.
Ice cream's great. I don't fucking need it.
I'm fat for a reason. I love the taste of food.
I'm also fat for a reason. I'm lazy as fuck.
Yeah, no, I love food. Like there's just
No.
if you could tell me that you'd never gain any fucking weight again, but you wouldn't like be able to, you wouldn't have to eat. I'd be like a vampire. I don't have to eat, but I choose to.
No. If like the vampire option was there to be like, all you gotta do is drink this slurry, be like, yeah, that's it.
I couldn't do that. I mean, I say that I can't do that, but it's like fried chicken, fucking collard greens. I couldn't eat that. Like,
Yeah, I don't need that shit.
no, dude, I'm on board. I am on board. No, as far as no.
I mean, food's fine, but if I had the option to not have it, I would be fine with that.
A nice lasagna with a nice rich tomato meat
An
sauce.
SMLT sandwich with the button is nice and lean.
and the bacon's all perky.
Yeah, but still, got that shit out.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I don't need it. Like, one of my favorite races in D&D is the Reborn, and they don't have to eat. And I'm like, absolutely.
That's what you're playing now, right? Okay.
It's no eating, no breathing, no sleeping. Awesome. Like, if I never had to sleep, I sleep because I friggin' have to. Like, your body goes wonky if you don't sleep.
I liked sleeping when I was younger.
But if I could eliminate sleep and have 1/3 of my life back, absolutely. Like, you're asleep for a third of your life. Like, you live to your 90, 30 of those years were spent sleeping.
It's not all amazing. Like, every waking moment isn't something I need to be conscious for. Like, I love sleeping. Especially when I was younger and you'd lay down and you'd go to sleep and you'd wake up and you feel great. As opposed to now where I lay down and go to sleep and I wake up and something else just fucking hurts.
I know. It's like I can't sleep on my left side anymore because this breaks. I have to sleep in one position and something else is going on. It's like, I don't need sleep. I'd be fine if I never had to sleep. And I just do whatever. Like, stream a show. Read a comic.
Not breathing.
Play a game.
Not breathing is the one I would take. If I didn't have to breathe. That way I didn't have to worry about, like, walking into fucking poisonous gas or falling into a fucking lake and dying just because my body forgot how to fish. So, like, that's something I would take. Not eating, not breathing. Don't want that. Now, if I could never get sick again, like, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It would probably be pretty easy to sell me in any of the shit. It's like, hey, you had fucking cybernetic body. I'm like, go fuck yourself. And they're like, what about cancer? Be like, yeah, that's pretty scary. Talk to me more about not having cancer.
But there would be none of those 4 options where you're like, none of those, please. You'd at least take one of them. Like, power armor. Because in the very least, you could take power armor and then put it in the corner and never use it.
Yeah.
But it's there if in case you need it or whatever.
Yeah, I wouldn't want like a robot copy of myself just for the fact of eventually I know me. I'm just going to be like, go fuck yourself and go somewhere else. And if it's a perfect copy of me, eventually it's going to be like, no, you go fuck yourself. And we've got the AI bullshit all over again. I wouldn't do that. And then I know that I wouldn't do the full body replacement with like cyborg shit because that's just fucking nuts. Like just being a head, that sounds crazy to me. I don't know. Like if I couldn't touch shit.
Well, like in Alita, she had a sense of.
If I didn't have a wiener or butthole anymore, that'd just be weird.
Yeah, I don't need that shit.
Wieners are pretty awesome. Just saying. I'm just saying. It just I don't know. Like not having getting a foot massage or having my back scratched. It's like one of my favorite things when you walk past me when we're gaming and you give me a back scratch. Like, see, this is
one of these numbers with.
You wouldn't fucking have this anymore. Like this is just amazing.
But you also wouldn't have this anymore.
Okay, good point. I can't argue with that. But like that's just I couldn't. I don't know.
You take the good, you take the bad.
You take them both,
and there you have the facts of life.
The Borgs of life. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't do it. Let's move on.
Yeah. Let's upgrade.
Okay, upgrade.
Upgrade it is. Next one coming up would be protection. So, what do I think Lance is going to give protection? Okay, I got it.
I don't think you moved any cards.
Hey, I totally flew. You heard the sound of moving paper.
All right.
What would you give protection?
I would give protection a 6.
Yeah, that's kind of.
Nick, what would you give protection?
I'm on a 6 as well.
Okay, see. I went a little higher because it was an Elisa episode.
Oh yeah, which is good, but it's also a Dracon episode, which I don't like Dracon.
How about it, baby? Stupidest voice on Gargoyles ever.
I don't like Dracon. Elisa like going undercover or whatever. I mean that's kind of fun. More Broadway. I mean Broadway's okay.
Yeah, it was the Thaylog Elisa.
Yeah, she was undercover, and I like that. Like Broadway sees it, and he's like, "Oh, I've seen this in movies before. She's undercover. I know exactly what to do." And I like the step in when they're on the balcony, like Goliath steps in and like, "I don't know, Lisa, money and power sound pretty good to me."
Yeah, and
like
she's confused, like, "Oh fuck, what's going on?"
Yeah, stuff you would never hear Goliath say.
Yeah, it was weird. It was a weird episode, and like, I know bad guys aren't that fucking dumb.
Yeah, it's definitely very hey, listen, we'll pay you the money. Just have your boss come in and tell me because there's someone else walking around going, and then he shows up and be like, "Yeah, I'm in charge."
Yeah, it was.
And it's like, haha, I got you, I'm Matt Bluestone.
Yeah, it was a dumb episode. Especially the whole blowing up the fucking basement and collapsing.
That's a different episode.
Was that a different episode? It was another Dracon episode, though, right? Because that was Shades.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. I'm sorry.
Now, this is the one where I'll see all the cops undercover.
Yeah, and they're doing the protection racket.
Yeah, and they come up with a briefcase and they blow up like they blow up the diner, and the guy's, "I'm going to tell you exactly who did it," and then shows up his wife is like, I don't know who did it.
That's right. Yeah, it was just okay.
It's whatever. It's fine. I don't dislike it, but I don't particularly love it. And
I didn't like her flirting with Dracon, and all that stuff. It was just okay.
And then it kind of spawns off the catchphrase of jalapeno.
Oh, is it? He gets the jalapeno at the end of the episode?
And I don't know what they say jalapeno.
Well, I guess that's like shit.
But I just like
jalapeno.
Yeah, jalapeno. They're putting an A instead of an O at the end of jalapeno.
Well, at least they're not going jalapeno.
Jalapeno.
Yeah.
I like it's whatever. An attempt at his catchphrase, like whatever. But I like that Broadway just kind of like chomping away at jalapenos, and it's like, "Hey, you try one." He's like,
jalapeno. What the fuck is he gonna say if he eats a ghost pepper?
Yeah, I don't think ghost peppers exist at this point in time.
Yeah, well, okay, then a cayenne pepper.
Maybe. I think jalapeno or ghost peppers were manufactured, air quotes, were bred.
If we're doing that with peppers, imagine what humans are walking around us right now. CRISPR.
What?
I think that's what they were using.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, genetic.
Yeah. You take that. This plant made the spiciest hot pepper I've ever eaten, and this plant made the second spiciest one I've ever.
We'll put them together and see what we have. Yep.
Then you get the ghost pepper, and then you get like the Reaper, the Ghost Reaper. You get Reaper X, and just kind of.
Eventually, like I bought a box over there of 10 hot sauces.
Was it not sitting right there?
Yeah, it's sitting right here. And we're gonna try and do the fucking challenge. And when I was younger, I used to be able to eat every fucking hot thing under the sun. I walked into a bar one time with my buddies, and they didn't tell me, but the hottest hot sauce that they made that they put on wings, it was like the challenge: eat 10 wings with this fucking sauce on it, and you get a picture up on the wall. I walked in, and one of my buddies, Louie, handed me a small solo cup with like the stuff at the bottom. He's like, "Eat that real quick." I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna fucking eat it." And I was dying inside, but I did not let them see that. And he was like, "Nothing?" I was like, "Nothing. What's going on?" He's like, "You ate basically what would make like 5 fucking things of like 12 wings of the hottest stuff." I was just putting it. He's like, "They usually put a drop of that," and I ate like a whole fucking small cup of it. And I was like, no, I'm good. And he was like, "Man, fuck, that's fucked up." And then like I walked outside and guzzled 3 beers. Yeah.
Oh God, I'm dying.
And I remembered that. And then I bought this fucking kit. I know with my stomach, I'm going to probably get to around like sauce 6 and just be like basically farting blood. I know it's going to happen. I am so not stoked about this. This is the dumbest decision I've ever made.
Yep.
I don't want to talk a lot about this episode because it was just okay.
It's fine. You get to see undercover Elisa. And kind of like her being bad cop. And It's a lot of conveniences happen. I don't know.
Where does she? And then there's undercover rackets going on in two different areas that don't know about each other. Like Bluestone's doing his thing with the fucking chief.
Well, it was all together. I think they were all going to try to get this protection racket, and it was super easy.
It's just.
Although I there was stuff in it that's okay.
How did Eliza think that the fucking gargoyles weren't following around like they do every fucking night?
All the time. But it kind of brings the amusing thing later when like Glasses goes to Dracon. They're like, yeah, she tells them what to do like her dogs, and they follow her, and she's like, yeah, I might be this risk, but look at these guys I got. And he's like, I think the thought of her controlling them, so him vicariously controlling them, is too rich of a price to like pass up or whatever.
He's so fucking dumb.
Yeah, he's dumb. I don't.
Like immediately, let me invite you into my fucking criminal enterprise. And it's like you go to his apartment, and you see all these other things that you could fucking book him on easily, but it's like no, let's get him like trying to extort one person.
Well, to be fair, they did blow up. They did blow up a building with a friggin' bomb, and then they delivered another one.
Yeah, it was a weird episode.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that one. But we can move on. There's not a lot going on with protection that I'm super jazzed to talk about.
I think it was the lowest rated episode of the season. Which is probably not true since there's like 50 fucking episodes, but...
Outfoxed is 0.1 lower.
Ooh, Turf is really low.
Turf? Okay.
That's near the end of the season.
Yeah. We got... Heritage is a 7.0. Monsters is 7. Yeah, Golem is lower.
Mark of the Panther.
So, it is near the bottom, but it's not at the bottom.
Golem is low, yeah.
I think Golem is the lowest. Turf is the second lowest.
Oh no, that one's coming up. Golem.
I don't dislike that one, but we'll get to that one. So
now we're at the cage.
We're at the cage. So this brings up the mutates with Derek,
Mutant,
Maggie, Talon, and Claw. No, Talon is Derek. Which one's the other one? Claw and Fang. Mm-hmm. That's the other one.
Mutant. Mutate.
I wonder.
Alright, what does Nick give?
You know who
this
plays Fang?
That would be James Belushi.
Yeah, Jim Belushi.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
I looked it up. That was going to be my fun fact.
Okay. I was looking through it as like just kind of saying like, oh, what's that guy's name? Because of course it's not going to show Claw as a voice because he's a silent character.
Yeah, I was going to be my fun thing. I saw it was Jim Belushi. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, Jim Belushi.
I thought that was hilarious.
All right, I'll pick one of them.
Oh, I heard you flipping cards. You must have changed your score. Let's see. What do I think Nick gave this episode? I'm going to... I know there's a reflective surface over there, so...
No, I'm not looking at it.
I know.
It's not like it's going to change anyway. I've got it written down.
Yeah, true.
Lance, what do you have for your... What would you give the cage?
6.
No, it's not 6.
Yeah, I knew you didn't change it. You already know I don't like the fucking the Talon's pack.
Yeah, I'm not super big on them either.
So how about you, Nick? What'd you give it?
Also a 6. It's fine.
Derek is so stupid.
Yeah,
and that's my biggest problem is that her brother is so fucking dumb.
And I think of it. This is the episode in which he finally gets over some of the, we got over the biggest kind of separation between Elisa and Talon, which would be like, we moved back in with Xanatos because Xanatos seems alright. It's like, dude, stop it.
Yeah, everything's Severius' fault. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go kill him now that I know he's still alive.
Yeah.
And then they try to do that fucking double Dutch where it's like, it's obvious the growl of fucking Goliath.
Yeah. I mean, so you've got the mutates move back in with Goliath, or move back in with Xanatos, and they're like, oh, I saw some people flying around Xanatos Towers. They must be back. And then it turns out they're all hanging out, and Lisa and Goliath show up, and Talon's like, screw you. Xanatos has been nothing but amazing to me. And then it's like, if only Severius was alive. Like, he is alive. Like, no, he's not. Goliath killed him. I saw it.
Yeah, he's so fucking dumb.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of him.
Then I like Maggie.
Yeah, I do like Maggie's okay.
But, I hate the fact that they were using her as lure in the beginning of it, because Hudson walking out and just be like, oh, hey, where you been? It's good to see you. We were wondering. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
And then she's like, my bad, I'm sorry.
Don't do it.
Yeah, it was just, okay.
Maggie's very mousy, and I think kind of grows into like stops trying to be like so meek or whatever to like be a little bit more assertive.
Yeah.
Because she's always just wanted to be. She was just a human that was nabbed off the street.
Yeah. Homeless.
Yep.
Less dead. You can do whatever the fuck you want to because no one's gonna miss them.
Yeah.
But yeah, the not that I know from experience or anything like that. Don't think I'm like taking.
It's also called sarcasm. Some people can't read it on the internet.
Yeah, but I have to say it in case someone's like, go for this fucking
my
guy's
God,
head.
did you hear what he said?
Yeah.
Listen to this out of context, and they read it dry as shit.
Well, it's like
it sounds like the most awful thing ever.
I said that, and they immediately stopped the video and were like, this guy's fucking killing homeless people. Yeah, it's just she was fine. I like Maggie. Jim Belushi's character is just
he's an asshole.
He's a dickhead. Derek is just fucking stupid.
Yeah. And Claw's just the kind of go along.
Yeah, well, he's the quiet guy.
Yeah, he's the that just follows whatever whoever the loudest one in the room is. He just kind of does what he does.
Yeah, and it's fine. Does he eventually get a voice actor?
I don't think so. No.
Because they said that he hasn't talked since the thing. So
I don't recall him ever talking.
In the show. I feel like he just doesn't want to talk.
Yeah. I think it's just post-traumatic stress.
But yeah, it was just an okay episode. I wasn't over the moon about this one. Mm-hmm. The double switch of it was obviously Claw, but no, it's just Goliath.
Mm-hmm. That's obvious.
Trying to do Elisa a solid.
Mm-hmm.
That was just whatever. I liked getting more
Severius.
Yeah, more Severius. That was great.
Yeah. I do kind of like at the end, Xanatos shows up and takes Severius away, and he's just kind of like, it could be the cure, it could be poison.
Yeah. I like that. She's like, it's got to be the cure, and he's like, yeah, it's totally the cure. And then Derek's like, well, wait a minute, why do you want me to take it? And it's
so it's like, you have to take it, not Maggie.
Yeah, and she's like, no, I'll take it. And it's like, no, and like it's like, oh, that's poison.
Yeah,
but I mean, you were literally, if I held a gun to your head and said, fucking make, I don't know, Hydralisk fucking cure.
Yeah, just put some shit together and then be like, yeah, I did it.
Yeah, you got a gun in my head. It's just totally the thing.
Yeah, this is it.
But I mean, I guess I would have made fucking like Goliath drink it because he's the one that was going to tear his fucking arms off.
But he wasn't going to. It was being made for someone else. So obviously, just be like, okay, maybe I'll make it so horrible and painful that I'll be able to slip away in the chaos. Who knows?
True. I think we're about to have a special guest.
Oh, are we? Oh, yeah, look at that.
Hi, Bubba. Don't pause it. Don't pause it. Come here. You okay? What's going on? Why you got that face? Come here. Why you got that face? What's going on? Talk to me. Talk to Daddy. You okay? Yeah? Look at me. Look at me. Let me see your face. Let me see that cute face. What's going on? Oh.
Yeah. Want to deal with that?
Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, it was a good episode. I thought that the ending of the episode was kind of weird, only for the fact of, it's Derek. It's still Derek.
Yeah.
And then the family's like, oh, Derek. It's like, no, I would have been like, oh, God, what is that thing?
Yeah. I think he's been missing for so long, he's finally back, and it's just kind of the relief that he's not dead.
Sure, but it's just weird. Like that, if somebody would have walked through the door and been like, "Okay, guys, I want to show y'all, it's Nick. It's still Nick," and you walked in looking like fucking Morbius, I'd be like, "No." So, I didn't buy it. But
if I looked like Morbius, it would be Morbin time, and you'd be down for it.
And it's soon going to be Morbin time. But yeah, no, this was just another okay one.
It's okay.
I don't like the cat pack.
Yeah, I'm not super big on them, but I think we're going to start getting into some of the episodes that I'm like jazzed about, because there's been some fun ones. I was looking forward to Upgrade, but like next time we're going to get Avalon, which is a 3-parter, into Shadows of the Past, and like Avalon is good. I'm looking forward to that one. It's not as good as some of the other ones, but it's still pretty good.
Say hi, Uncle Nick.
Hi. How you doing? Are you sleeping?
Did we wake you up? Why are you shy? You've never been shy before. You were this, what, boo-boo bite? Okay. Is that better? But yeah, no, it was just an okay one. And I think we fucked up the order because we only did 4 episodes. And I noticed that there's like 1 episode before a 3-parter.
The next episode is the Price one that we've already done because
it was out of order?
What is on IMDb is not what is on Disney Plus, and we're doing it as Disney Plus does it, just because that is the most accessible to people at this point in time. Because the only other way would be getting the DVDs themselves. I think IMDb is DVD order. It is not necessarily Disney Plus order, because number 20 on the DVD is in fact the price. Whereas I'd have to look at, because my Disney Plus thingy wasn't working. I'd have to look at my.
It's awfully early for you to be out of bed. You usually come in the room about 12.
I have to look here. And did we do it in April?
Hey, I need you to feed the chicken.
Did we do it?
Let the chicken eat.
Vows 8. Gargoyles.
Here, you can play with them. Here you go. I'm gonna put you on my knee, okay? Oh.
Yeah, I don't.
Good Lord, you are heavy.
I don't know offhand. Outfox was 14. Heine was 13.
I must love you to be bouncing you on Daddy's hurt knee.
Yeah, they've got the. So the price is episode 20 on Disney Plus. It was swapped to episode 15, which therefore shifted all the episodes out of slight order. But we should be back on track, and I don't know if. I don't remember offhand if the IMDb / Disney Plus divide is going to occur again.
What? What's wrong? Say it. Jackson, it's bedtime. It's not TV time. I'll tell you what, though. We're going to wrap this up. Thank you for watching our Gargoyles video.
Yeah. Join us next month for the next 4 episodes.
Mm-hmm. And, or 3. There's only 3 episodes in the next.
No, it's three Avalon and then Shadows of the Past.
Got it. And they all connect?
Well,
of course they do.
Well, yeah. I mean, we'll get into it then.
Come here. Why don't you say bye to the people? Look at it right there. Look right there. And say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.